Hi crafters, this is Cindy B with mrsbscraftroom.blogspot.com here with another video in my Saturday video series using the Cricut and the Gypsy. Today I'm going to be creating a page layout for Thanksgiving. Today I'm just going to be doing one page layout. I may in a following week expand it to a two-page layout, but for today we're just going to do a one-page layout. So, okay, let's get started. So, as usual, I have, I'm using the mat, my first layer of my mat, as my designing mat for laying out the objects that I'd like to have on my layout. So the first thing I've decided I wanted to do was create a scallop. So you see this large scallop here, and I wanted that large scallop to be over the 12 by 12 paper that I'll be using. So the scallop is from, let's see, it is from Storybook Cartridge, and it is sized at 11 inches. So that was perfect fit to fit over the 12 by 12 paper. Now I went ahead, because what happens with the Gypsy is once you get an image that's this large on your mat, it's really hard to manipulate the other items on the screen within the how you want them to be on your layout. So I usually do, if I have a large image, I'll do that first on the first layer and then create a second layer where I can actually, it's not wanting to go today. Come on, layer 2. There we go. So I'll create a second layer where I will actually put my embellishments, and because I keep the eyeball on for the first layer, I can see that scallop and where it sits on that mat. So what I'm doing is I have chosen a few images from the Thanksgiving cartridge. The first image I've chosen is the pie. And I really haven't done anything to the pie, just brought it onto the screen, and it's sized at 2.65. And the other image that I'll be using is the cornucopia from the Thanksgiving cartridge, and that's sized at 2 inches. And then I'm using the words "gather together" from the same cartridge, sized at 3 inches. Okay, so I have put the images where I wanted on my mat, and then I just went into Georgian Basic Shapes and picked a few squares and put those on my mat also to represent some pictures. Okay, then going to layer 3, I still wanted to add a few more embellishments onto my layout, and I decided to pick a rectangle from Georgian Basic Shapes and also a border that I wanted to lay across, which is a scallop border, and that is from Just Because Cards. So I'm using that one, and I have sized the border to be 11.5 in height. And then the rectangle is sized at 8.88 in height. And so I've positioned those on the mat on layer 3, where I wanted those to go on my layout. So now I'm ready to start putting together the items to cut. So going to layer 4 is where I will actually have the layers for all the images that I'll be cutting. So what I did is I brought in the pie image from the Thanksgiving cartridge, and then I also selected the layer. One of the things about the solution cartridge is they just have 1 or 2 layers on the key, so it's fairly simple. But the other thing about the cartridges is sometimes they have 2 things together that you might want cut in 2 different colors. So that was the case with the pie, with the top of the pie. So if I go to the Advanced tab, once I have that image selected, I can go to the Advanced tab, select the Hide Contour, and I'll go ahead and show it, because it did have an extra piece down here at the bottom that goes on top of the pie for the crust. But for this particular cut, I only wanted to cut the top of the pie, so I can hide that crust and have it not cut out. So I'll cut that one out of one color, and then I've copied it, and I have only cut the crust on this particular one. So if I go to the Hide Contour, you'll see, if I bring the show back, you'll see the top of the crust is back. But I only want the bottom half, so I can hide that top one. So that makes it a little bit easier. You don't waste a lot of paper and on your cuts when you need just to do one of the particular cut. So I've done the same thing with the cornucopia. I wanted the cornucopia to be cut in a maize color, but this round outside image probably should be a little bit darker. So I've hidden that one on this particular image, and then on this image I've hidden the cornucopia. So if you see that, I'll show you what it shows. There we go. All right, so that makes it fairly easy to put your paper, your images in the right spot for the color of paper that you want to cut. So I'm going to go off and cut this out, and I'll be back in a sec, and we'll put this layout together.